Getting industry reps to notice your script can feel impossible, and I know this because I struggled for years. But it all changed when I stopped writing scripts based on ideas that I liked, and I started writing scripts that could actually sell. And I realize on some level that that sounds completely like a duh moment, but I read so many scripts from writers thinking they have the bee's knees or the cat's meow or whatever, but they don't. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 shifts I made that took me from being ignored to landing real meetings and exactly how you can make your next script stand out from the crowd. And I help all my students learn this because it is so critical to their success and to yours. So if you want to work with me, there is a link below. And whether you join me or not, you have to start thinking about your screenplays differently. You have to make some shifts. And the first shift is where most screenwriters, they just fall flat on their face before they've even written fade in. What usually happens is they chase an idea that feels cool. I mean, maybe it's an odd or intriguing character or a unique world, or maybe just an overall aesthetic or vibe, and they patch together a story and rewrite it 15 times. They burn a year of their life, and then finally they get done and they realize that no one's interested. And it's not because it's bad. I mean, it may be a great story and incredibly well written, but it gets passed over because the idea has zero market value. And here's what separates professionals from passionate screenwriters. Pro writers only write ideas that are sellable. That means a concept that has a great hook, a log line that makes people lean in, a story that promises something an audience would actually pay to see. Now, I'm not saying that you need to chase trends or write some soulless tentpole that you don't believe in. I'm saying the idea must be sellable. And that's because you're going to send a query letter. And in that query, you're going to include your log line. And if it doesn't grab anyone's attention, they will never read your script because they will never ask for it. And it doesn't matter how awesome your script is. No one will ever know because the base premise, the core idea, is just not sellable. This is one of the first things I drill into students inside the Crucible, my screenwriting mentorship program. And what you have to understand is that you can't just show up with a cool idea. You have to show up with an idea that is something producers want to read and reps they know they can sell. And that mindset shift alone will save you years of wasted work. So the first shift, have a sellable idea before you write a single word. Now, the second shift you need to make can literally give you a screenwriting career, or it can snatch it away. And I need to talk about that G word that I hate using and normally avoid, genre. And I avoid it because screenwriters often misunderstand it and misuse it. It's a marketing term. It's not a screenwriting term. And since we're talking about selling a script, or at least having a script you could sell, we have to think like marketers. And here's the bottom line. Hollywood buys what it knows it can sell. This is a business, and Hollywood wants to make money. And to make money, people have to go to the theater and watch movies, or tune in on a streaming service and watch the TV show. And so Hollywood is looking for 2 things: movies written in a genre that audiences typically watch, and movies that are cheaper to make, so the profit margin is bigger. That way they can cover the cost for other potential losses, because not every movie is a hit. Unless you think that this doesn't apply to TV, it's exactly the same. Hollywood wants TV shows written in a genre that audiences typically watch, and TV shows that are cheaper to make, so the profit margin is bigger. And this shift you have to make means you have to start writing screenplays in genres that Hollywood actually wants. And if you don't, well, you're just fighting against the current. So for film, the genres that sell are horror, comedy, rom-com, action-adventure, and sci-fi. That's your sandbox. Now, I didn't say drama. That was not an oversight. I didn't say slice of life, and it's definitely not your poetic, semi-autobiographical, meandering meditation on being a misunderstood writer. I mean, if you're an A-list screenwriter or an A-list director and you've got industry awards under your belt, okay, sure. Write whatever you want, write those things. But if you're trying to break in, you should just buy a lottery ticket because your odds are going to be better. Your script has to live in a genre that has a built-in proof of concept. Now, sometimes the secret sauce is actually in combining genres. Sci-fi meets rom-com, or horror, action, adventure, or a comedy combined with any of the other elements. For TV, most successful hour-long shows are built on familiar backbones of the holy trinity of TV: doctors, lawyers, cops. And if you're writing a half-hour comedy, you get one genre, the dysfunctional family, which is sometimes paired with the doctor, lawyer, or cop. And even when it doesn't look like it, most every successful show is one of these or a combination of them. And of course there's exceptions. There's always exceptions, but again, those usually come because they're based on an existing IP or because the original writer has a track record of success. So for hour-longs, Ted Lasso, doctor show. He's healing people. Breaking Bad, cop show, told from the criminal's point of view. Better Call Saul, lawyer show. Yellowstone, cop and lawyer hybrid show. For half hours, Seinfeld, Friends, Big Bang Theory, Modern Family, dysfunctional family, dysfunctional family, dysfunctional family, dysfunctional family. What you have to do as a writer is take the familiar genre and find a new and fresh way to package it. So ask yourself, where does your story fit? And if the answer is, well, it doesn't really fit any of these, then it probably isn't going to ever get any traction anywhere. And I'm sorry, I hate saying that, but that's just the reality for writers trying to break in. And again, there are exceptions, but rarely do they come from a screenwriter breaking in. So please don't misunderstand me. This is not about compromise. It's about strategy. Writing what you love inside of a wrapper that sells. And that's the second shift that you have to make. Now, the third shift is going to be one that at first it doesn't sound so bad, but this one stings the most and requires you to totally reconfigure in your brain for how you're approaching the craft of screenwriting. I know you believe in your core that a screenplay is a blueprint for a movie or a show, and actually it should function like that and demonstrate you can write something that is the basis to hire a lot of people and spend a lot of money for something that's just visually entertaining. So technically that's true. A screenplay is a blueprint for a movie or a TV show, but it's also very not true. Your script that you're writing to get into the hands of Hollywood decision makers is a tool, specifically a sales tool for you. It's your resume. It's your proof that you know what you're doing. It's your calling card that shows you know how to write compelling characters that real actors would want to play in a great world that real directors want to direct and producers with money want to spend money on. And before it becomes a movie or a TV show, your script is a document that needs to hook readers fast and not let them go. So if someone opens your script and within 5 pages they're confused or underwhelmed or just plain bored, okay, that's game over. If there's no conflict on page 1, if your storytelling isn't captivating, or if they have no idea what your script is about by page 10, they're out. They don't finish it, they don't pass it on, they don't even remember your name. A good script is not just a good story. It's a good story well told. It's readable, it's effortless, even addictive, like they want to read it again. And it should be a great read the second time through, too. And that means that even though screenplays are blueprints for a visual medium, the third shift you have to make is that you must write a script that's meant to be read. That means no camera directions, no we see, no overwritten action lines, no literary fluff. You shouldn't even say things like, Jimmy looks at Connie who's washing the car. Just say Connie washes the car. If Jimmy's in the scene, the reader knows he's watching. You don't need to spell it out and kill the momentum. Plus, when you write it like that, it automatically pushes the reader away. Now we're watching someone else watch someone else. They are doing what you want the reader to be doing. So don't do that. Put the reader in the middle of the action. Make it a great read. You want the reader to hit page 30 and feel like it's been 5 minutes. You want them to forget their reading and just get swept up in the movie in their mind. That's the kind of script that gets passed around. That's the kind of writer that reps want to represent. And if you don't know what that kind of writing feels like on the page or how to develop it, that's exactly what we work on inside the Crucible. I give you the tools, the feedback, and the accountability to stop writing scripts that just sit on your hard drive so you can actually start writing scripts that get read. And I know that making these shifts are not simple. Okay, they don't happen overnight. They took me a while, but I was tired of getting lackluster results, and I knew if I just kept doing the same things over and over, I'd just keep getting the same results I was getting. So I changed how I approached the craft by making these 3 shifts. And once I did, my scripts got requested and read. I started getting meetings with industry decision makers. It's not about luck. It's about you doing the right things and approaching things in the right way so that you can make your own luck. And no, it's not about who you know either. I mean, sure, it helps, but if you aren't demonstrating you can write like a professional and think like a professional, you won't ever be treated like a professional. That means you only write ideas that can sell. You choose genres the market wants, and you write scripts that are an absolute joy to read. And I can tell you from having read hundreds of scripts from first-time amateurs to award-winning writers, most writers don't do these 3 things. In fact, many of them think if they just get better at writing, everything will work out. It won't. Now, yes, you absolutely have to get better at writing, but you also have to think like a pro before you ever hit page 1. But when you do hit page 1, there are some things you absolutely must avoid if you want to keep the reader reading. And in this video, I show you some examples of things you should definitely avoid. And if you want to work with me so I can help you start to make these shifts and start writing Hollywood quality screenplays, click the link below.